Let me ask you something real. How long have you been thinking about buying your first rental property? 6 months? 1 year? 3 years? You already know that real estate builds wealth. You've watched the breakdowns, understand leverage, you've seen people turn one property into multiple properties. But here's the uncomfortable truth: knowing isn't the problem, execution is. And most people are stuck not because they lack information, they are stuck because they are waiting to feel ready. Today, I'm going to break down the reasons why you haven't bought your property yet and what needs to shift for you to actually move. Stay with me. At the end of this video, I'm going to ask you one question. Your answer will reveal whether you're serious or just comfortable. You're waiting for the perfect market. The most common excuse I always hear is I'm waiting for prices to drop. I'm waiting for rates to go down. I'm waiting for stability. But let's look at the reality in Canada. When interest rates were low, prices were high. When prices slowed down, rates increased. When markets stabilize, people start talking about another shift. There is never a perfect window. If you try to time the market, you will end up timing nothing. Real investors don't chase the bottom. They buy when the numbers actually make sense and hold for the long term. If the property works for 10 years, short term uncertainty just becomes noise. Most beginners obsess over, will it cash flow in day one? What if something breaks? What if prices will drop next year? But real estate is not a 1 year investment. Let's zoom out. Over time, you get mortgage paydown, rents increases, appreciation cycles. Inflation is working in your favor. Year 1 might feel slow, year 5 feels stronger, year 10 feels powerful. The problem is you judge too early. Imagine planting a tree and digging it up every month to check the roots. That's what short term does to a long term investment. Patience is part of the strategy. Let's get real. Ownership means responsibility. It means fixing problems, screening tenants, handling maintenance, and making decisions under pressure. Renting feels simple. Investing feels heavy, but growth always feels heavy at first. The first repair you handle is very stressful. The second is manageable. The fifth feels normal, another day at work. Every challenge that you solve expands your confidence. And confidence is a competitive advantage in real estate investing. Most people avoid responsibility. Investors lean into it. I hear this all the time. I need 20% down payment. I need more savings. I'm not there yet. Well, sometimes that's true, but often those are just assumptions, not facts. Have you actually spoken to a mortgage broker? Check your borrowing power. Explored options like house hacking, multi-unit properties, partnering, adding a legal suite in your primary residence. Many people delay because they assume that they can't. Clarity changes perspective. Sometimes you discover that you are closer than you think. You're comparing your beginning to someone else's portfolio. Social media actually makes this worse. You see people with 10 properties, large portfolios, big equity numbers, and you will feel behind. But here's the truth: every portfolio started with one property. No one skipped the first deal. The first property is not about money, it's about the momentum. It changes how you see risks, opportunity, debt, and growth. The shift from I want to invest to I am an investor happens after action, not before. Be honest. How many hours have you spent watching market updates, watching breakdown videos, researching strategies? Learning feels productive, but learning without execution becomes comfort. At some point, you stop consuming content and start taking steps. You don't need 100 videos, 50 spreadsheets, perfect analysis. You need pre approval, a clear buy box, and a real property analysis. Action creates clarity. Let's zoom out. If you wait 5 more years, property prices may increase, rents may increase, mortgage paid down are missed. The cost of waiting is invisible. That is why it feels safe. But time compounds both ways. Action compounds wealth. Inaction stagnates growth. 5 years from now, you'll either say, I'm glad that I started, or I should have started earlier. If you're serious about moving forward, get pre approved. Define your buy box. Analyze at least 3 properties and go talk to a professional. Take clear one step this week, not later, this week. Clarity builds confidence. Confidence builds momentum. Here's the question I promised. If nothing changes and 5 years pass, are you okay with where you are exactly right now? If yes, you're fine. If no, then today is your starting point. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Start building imperfectly. Your first property won't make you rich overnight, but it will change your identity. And that change is powerful. If this hits you, comment I'm starting. Tell me what's holding you back. And if you want real conversations about building wealth through real estate in Canada, subscribe. On this channel, we build long term freedom.